Hello internet, and today we have the glorious blade again. Now if you watch a lot of my other showcases, I usually use just like the smart equip, like this recommended plan. Of course I adjust the stats based on my needs, but usually that'll just work at like a basis level for most characters. However, for Blade though, he has a really unique role where you can fit in the genuine best set of all time. We got Sprightly, Von Walk, and Eagle Twilight Line. You see, with this setup, we still have some damage, which is not that important. We still have some HP, which is more important, but very importantly, we have a lot of speed. We're gonna get a lot of turns with Blade, and because of how he works, right, during his ultimate, the more turns you can get with him, the better. I mean, that's generally anyway with Blade. The more turns you can get with him, it's genuinely just better. We are gonna do less damage though, but I'm gonna show you how this can be used so well. We're gonna pair him with the actual GOAT, Welt Yang. With Welt, the weightless reduces your defense by 40% again. There's like damage increases, and more importantly with E4, you also get all-time rest reduction. Because they're above nihility, you'll activate Blade's effect, where you can provide all damage dealt by allies increased by 75% as well. This only happens with another nihility character. And since Mortenax Blade also reduces defense by 30%, you'll achieve 70% defense shred. That is a lot. And that's a combo that can fit anyone in the game, I think, including EVANESCIA. How in the world is this thing gonna work with Blade, right? Well, first of all, her set also has like defense ignore. So we're definitely just gonna be ignoring about 100% of the enemy's defense. Like, it's really crazy. And you see, EVANESCIA doesn't just do elation damage. She does alt damage as well, which is benefited by, you know, alt damage increase, I'm sure. Even if it doesn't, the defense shred definitely helps, right? Which is why I'll show you the ultimate creative combo. EVANESCIA Yaoguang Blade with Welt Yang. What is this team? Yeah, right before we start though, every server from the Creator Experience server. And with this team set up, your sustain is pretty much Blade. There's something about Blade is underrated where it's his survivability. Now, his survivability is not exactly OP, but he can revive. I think a lot of people forget that he can revive. But in any case though, we'll just jump into this team and show you how this kind of works. We got Welt, which is also on Von Wag win set. I'll show you all the stats later. So he'll be faster than everybody. I just need to use the skill into the ultimate. This will push them back. You already seen a lot of Welt content on my channel. He's my goat. I love him a lot. But yeah, he allows my team to take a lot of turns and the enemy team to take no turns. That's pretty good. Now Blade with Von Wag win set is able to cut every damage dealer in the team no matter who it is. And that's important because we want to inflict Balefire Bind. So we're going to go with the basic into the ultimate here. This ult will trigger win set, pushing me above like that, and while we're pushing them back, right? And plus obviously Balefire Bind is now online. All the buffs from Blade is now online. It's all gonna benefit everybody, including Yaoguang, including EVANESCIA. That's pretty much the whole idea with this squadron, and I gotta say, it's gonna look pretty sick. Let's go with the Yaoguang ultimate here. Check this damage out. It's already insane. We're ignoring 70+%, probably almost 90 or 100% defense. So yep, 400k damage dealt into 470k damage dealt. That's already pretty good. Here comes another aha instant. We're gonna do like half a mil every time pretty much, right? So bam, there we go. And now we still have a turn with Blade himself. Blade himself still does solid damage. Check this out, right? During his ultimate, but this is what I mean as well. During his ult, you have this action bar where if this takes the turn, Blade will exit the state. But if you have Winsep on while you keep pushing yourself up, you will probably stay in here for quite a while. We're doing 200k for that. One thing weak with Blade though is he'll continually get his own HP reduced, but do remember he has a revive mechanic. Now we got EVANESCIA. We're gonna max our, you know, got our energy and slam on him with my blade that's shaped like a ruler. So how much damage will we do? 100% defense ignored pretty much. EVANESCIA in like a really creative team outside is one-shotting the whole team with 2.7 million done. That's pretty cool. All right, now we got the boss fight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you one of the best builds for Blade actually. Now it's definitely harder to use a blade like this because for one, there's not really too big of a reason. You could just use the normal build blade, and for two, most of the time people would use this sort of blade to, like, you know, do a no sustain fast clear. I don't think we can zero cycle this, at least with this setup. I just wanted to show like the idea at the very least, but yeah, let's just watch it, right? They spawn a bunch of stuff. Let's put the weightless on them, and bam, that's 40% defense ignored, and you know, 30% all-time rest pen decrease. Here we got the blade. We get a lot of turns during his ultimate because of the win set, and we have the ult right here. Check this damage output out as well. We're gonna get our ult, and it's boosted because we have nihility character as an ally, like Welt Yang. So let's turn into the black mode and slash them apart. We're still doing 1 million damage there. It's enough to clear all of these waves, to be honest. We're gonna go for the skill, and I'm gonna get a charge here into another skill. This might already start killing stuff. I think it did. I might not have killed anyone, but this will definitely do. That was 600k into an EVANESCIA slash. That's 200k to finish him off. And now we got 510 certified banger here. This isn't even like an elation team, but it kind of still working fine. Now you will notice Blade is getting getting worrisomely low. But here's the thing, man. A lot of you forget he has a revive and we're doing 2 million with EVANESCIA. Holy. I guess that's what happens when you're like ignoring all the defense. How much do we even have? We have 30% here and 40% here. That's 70%. We have Ever Glorious Magical Girl. Elation damage ignores almost 20%. So that's like pretty much nearly 90%, you know, defense ignored. I don't know if her kid has defense ignore. I forgot. But regardless of it, I mean, come on now. It's basically just 100%. Let's just call it 100%. I want to put 100% the thumbnail. That's why I keep wanting 100%. But come on, man. Are we really stopping at 90? That's it. All right. We have well and 20% HP left on the boss. It is phase 1 and he does still have damage reduction here. So without this, maybe he would have died. Well, let's just push you back. And Blade is about to die. I'm hoping he just lives like at least phase 1, but we'll see what happens. Right here we got Blade. It's the final turn and then I'll exit the state, but I'll have my ult instantly after this anyway, so I'll be back with the state. The problem is I might die because I'll find low HP. There's no healers here. However, I'll just show you how it works. It's not exactly ideal. It just works though. I'm also gonna use the Algon's ult as well. I don't think I can time it anyway without wasting some energy, so let's just go with this. I'm hoping I just murder you somehow. I don't think it's gonna happen though. I do get 9 charge, which is awesome. And let's see. Boom. That's not enough. But yep, I'm out of my ult. I'm gonna use it again. So we're back into the Infernal Fury state. And because of the wind set, I pushed myself up so quickly. Look at that. We have 1 HP. So you know what that means. After the turn where we kill the boss, he will spawn his mobs and stuff. We will lose the blade, but he will revive. That is why he's actually really good with no sustain comps. He is pretty much just a sustain. He taunts the enemies for you, so higher odds of him being attacked. I should put her like at the side, not in the middle. Right, enough yapping. Let's just, I think we could use the skill, I want to say. I'll just use the skill. All right, so here comes the, whatever that is. You're going to revive. You're going to kill the blade here. He's going to revive instantly. And this is the, oh no. Dude, I forgot to use Welt's ultimate. We're missing some damage here yet. It could have been like maybe 500k, but well, too bad. Well, we'll still continue. What I was gonna say is the enemy still has Balefire Bind, but Balefire Bind is still on them even when Blade is out of the ult form. The only thing we're missing are like the damage increase because he's out of the ult, but I mean he almost has his ult, I guess, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, here's the thing though. I'm on fire damage orb, so if I had HP percent, I mean I still would have died there, I think. But this is how you use him like in terms of survival, right? You do die with him, but you'll revive. And after that, you just need to take 2 turns to get the ult, I suppose. Or if the enemy hits him once, then you'll get the ult. The ideal version is if you just don't die. But hey, that's like calling a patient in therapy to just be happy, dude, while you're depressed. All right, here comes the EVANESCIA. How much damage would this be? We still have Balefire Bind. We're doing 1.4 mil still. It's good, I mean. Would have been better with my ult, though. But well, that's why you are going to build him fast, so he can take his turn as fast as possible and then get the ult on as soon as he can as well. We're going to use a basic here into the Blade turn. We're going to use a basic into the ult again. We're probably going to push myself enough to cut the boss. Yeah, look at that. It's because of Welt's pushback as well. That's why this two as a duo is kind of like the universal FU to like the bosses. They get less turns while we push ourselves ahead. All right, let's keep pushing you like back. Why not? Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get the 1 cycle clear even. 0 cycles definitely not on the books for this setup at least. I mean, obviously, I'm forcing an E0 EVANESCIA with really suboptimal team that doesn't pair with her perfectly. So obviously, we're not just going to one-shot this thing, 0 cycle it, but hey, this is still a workable team though. And there we go, 1.9 million. This could have been a 1 cycle if I played it better probably. But yep, 2 cycles used. If I was on speed boot of EVANESCIA, maybe that could have been 1 cycle, because I really was just missing that bit of energy at the end there. But yeah, that was a pretty safe team considering there's no sustain. The only one that almost died, well, who died was Blade, but the rest of the damage is mostly absorbed by Blade anyway because of the taunts and damage decrease. So the rest of my team was really not too pressured. Obviously, the team has a lot of attacks as well with AHA Instant, so it actually helps Blade with charges. And then, you know, we got Welt Yang just spamming the pushback while Blade spams the wind set. Same with Welt spamming the wind set as well. Although EVANESCIA benefits a lot from especially the defense ignore, right? The defense reduction. It's almost 100%. We're calling it 100%. And this duo can honestly not just work with Eva. It can work with anyone. With Ash Veil. Okay, maybe not you, Firefly. With Acheron, it'll work out as well. I guess Clara, if you're using her. To the one person that's using Clara, bro. Yeah, it might be your time. You might want to pull out the blade, bro. What's crazy is he could be used maybe even with Saber. Anyone with ult damage or even without the ult damage. Like, the ult damage is not the more important one. It's more important to have the Balefire Bind, the defense ignore, the damage dealt increase as well. You know, damage suffered increase on the enemy end. If you combine that with a Welt with Eidolons, bro, you know how much percent of like damage related amps you have. It's just a lot, and it's nice to have on your account, I would say. It's just a Blade, and he works without his Lycone for sure. You can have a lot of like alternatives. So yeah, I actually think Blade is one of the most general support support you can ask for. He's not easy to build though, I will say, especially when I focus on his damage as well. But I'm so happy that we can use Blade in a lot of teams, man. And I do think Hoyoverse, like, this is just my nose doing the smelling. I think Hoyoverse has plans to make like a whole flagship husbando team, and Blade is probably going to be one of them. But enough of me yapping. Here's the quick stat though. Just a quick look over the stats. It's not impossible to do, but it's definitely hard. But yeah, with one shots for like no sustain teams, it's definitely hard usually. E0 for sure. Here's the wealth though. Wealth is pretty much only speedy. That's all you really need. And then Eidolon's looking like that. But yeah, I guess I forgot, but this was on fire damage boost and ERR, and these are the, main stats. If you want to survive better, just, switch to HP percent, right? Which might be better. The Yaoguang is really normal, nothing too crazy. Of course, it's E0. Same with EVANESCIA as well. This EVANESCIA, I don't even put too much effort in. So if I can do it, you can do it, man. And that'll be all. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. It is the Blade X Welt with pretty much any team. Any team would work. Maybe Archer would work too. Somehow Archer works. He just works with everything. That'll be all. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll be trying out a lot more fun ideas like these later on. So do follow the channel for that. That'll be all. Take care.